gatehouse, and I'm at the top of the stairs. And there was something about wanting to shoot photos down the stairs. I'm on the second floor, and I'm just shooting down them. And they go down, and then they make a little bit of a turn to the right, maybe 2/3 of the way down. And it was such a strong feeling. And I did it multiple times from that location. And I had some amazing photos happen that night because there was something moving around. I've got a full body apparition in 2 photos because I always shoot in 3. The first one has nothing in it, and then it walks into the photo, and then it moves across to the other side of the room. If you see the photos, you'll see how it's laid out. It's a very old house. But yeah, so a lot of times it is just following your instincts. And there's been times when I've kind of, hesitated or I'm not sure. And I know I've missed opportunities because I've stopped and I've let logic get in the way. A lot of this is just ruling everything else out and just thinking, okay, I think it's here, and just following those instincts. That's one of the best ways to go and get captures, is not to stop and think about it. Just do it.
What are your thoughts on these lovely ghost app pictures? Besides, boy, I want to slap the person who created that.
Yeah. I know. And in the beginning, there were a lot of fakes out there that took a while for people to figure out that they were fakes. When they were first coming out, I even got one just so I could go and look at them and get familiar with what some of these fakes are, and played with it and was amazed at how easy it was to go and put them in. But after you kind of get a feel for what these figures are that they're putting in, and there's a certain level of not, I don't know, maybe even too much realism might be a good way to kind of put it, but I haven't seen as much of that out there. I mean, there's always going to be fakes. There's always going to be frauds. It's just the nature of it. And, it's just human nature too, wanting to have that wow photo. But yeah, when those first came out, I think they hurt quite a bit because it took our credibility down. It's like, oh yeah, that's fake. That's Photoshop. That's this and that. I've never learned how to use Photoshop personally. I use other programs and just do a little bit of tweaking, playing with, the light, with contrast, with balance, maybe a little color balancing to help make what I want in the photo to pop out a little bit more. But that's just all part of us learning too. But yeah, that it hurts us whenever there's stuff intentionally put out that are fakes.
Yeah. There was one that actually made the news in Arizona, and it was fake. And people were going, well, did you see this? And it was the reflection of the garbage can on the floor. It's like, come on, people, pay attention to this. I can even show you the image from the photo from the app that's in there. And they're going, no, it's a ghost in the hospital. And I said, why would there be a Civil War ghost in Arizona? Of all places.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Yeah.
Think. And so that's one of the things that always gets me, is that people not using their common sense. So we're coming up on our first break.
All right.
So everybody, go. If you have any questions, make sure you get those out there, because it sounds to me like Julie likes to answer questions. So get them out there. She's got lots of answers. You're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. We are going to have a great night here with Julie Griffin. So make sure that you get your drink, come back. You got 3 minutes. Don't be late. We'll be waiting for you. So hurry up and come on back.
You're listening to WBHM, Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experienced Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride. I'm still Denise Pridemore, and I'm still here with Julie Griffin, and I hope everybody's having a great night. If you have any questions, make sure you ask them, so that way you get them answered. So my question to you, Julie, is I have seen a lot of pictures, light anomaly pictures, orb pictures with faces in them. Have you ever seen any of those types of pictures?
Yeah, I have. And it's called pareidolia. We naturally want to go and make sense of things when we see them. Think of looking up at a full moon. We see a face. We see the man on the moon. But we know it's simply a pattern of craters. This is what happens. It's what our brains automatically do. And when you see faces I'm not a fan of orbs. And when you see these kind of features, it's what our eyes are seeing. And this happens in a lot of photos that they claim are, ghostly or anomalies and such. But most of the time, again, nothing's 100%, but I have seen these. I have seen a couple that were like, wow, but they're the rare exception. Most of the time, what you're seeing, it's just pareidolia, like looking at the face, with the man in the moon. That's what my experience has been.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I don't see faces in things. So if I do see a face, it's unusual. So,
okay.
In fact, my husband will tell people will show me a picture and say, "Don't you see this here?" And I say, "No, I don't see a damn thing." And it's usually something that somebody's taken a picture of on me and saying, "Look, there's this little guy in this red leisure suit. He's right on top of you. Don't you see him?" And it's like, "No, I don't see him. Don't see a thing. It looks like me moving my hand." It's a blurry picture to me. But yet all these people see a man on me, and it's like, I don't see it. So I don't know if it's something that because I'm sensitive, I'm not seeing it because it's not really there, or I don't know. It's one of those weird things. I just don't see it. And other friends of mine that are sensitive don't see it either.
I think it's because of that, we're a bigger skeptic, and we're going to look at something longer and harder just because of that, because we know what the odds are of truly capturing something. Yeah. And that's why we just don't see it as quickly. I mean, I have seen what people are talking about, but I've also known that it's not a real face. And it is tough because people see this, or like what you're talking about, even into a red leisure suit. I've seen people describing something into crazy level of detail. Mm-hmm. And that I don't understand, because how can you go and even see to that kind of detail? You get a shape, something vague, and all of a sudden you've got a horse with a soldier, with a general, with a sword raised, and it's like, really? There's some mist there, but beyond that, but people want to see things. People want that experience. They want that, wow, look at this. Where you've had that opportunity to go and see something that is totally unexplainable. And I've seen it where people have gone into crazy detail when it's just not there. And I don't understand why they see that, but they do.
Well, to go along with this, we have another question in chat from Gary. He's with Caldwell County Paranormal, along with Carl, who asked the other question. He asked, have you captured a picture with streaks or waves of light?
I have. I've only had it happen once. And again, go to the website. You want to go to the oldest wooden jail in America. This was taken in Barnstable, Massachusetts. And I have a photo and there where I have these streaks. I mean, solid streaks of light have come through. Some are white, some are a light purple, and I've only caught something like that once. So it can happen, and it's nothing that's within the room because there's just a ceiling light. You can see the shadows coming down on the rafters, and these are coming in from the right side of the photo toward the left, and there's a lot of them. And it's an amazing, amazing building that I'd gone up to an overnight investigation on. And one of the two places also that I've had something physical happen at. I've only experienced that twice in my years out in the field where something has moved physically. But it is possible. And again, you just have to go and look at what are all the possibilities, what could have caused it. This is also where you need to learn a lot about lens flares, because that's something that I went through quite an education in the beginning to understand lights and spots. But you can get streaks of light. It is possible, yes. A lot of it's just taking the time to really scrutinize your photo and rule out any other possibilities.
How do you rule out lens flares?
A lot of it is learning what they look like. In the beginning, I had photos where I thought I had a capture, and you find out that you don't. Part of it by taking multiple shots, you can go and see, you can see patterns. It's a little bit hard to completely for me to completely explain, because this is something that I was learning by doing. I had shots where I would say in daytime, I would have like just a blue spot in broad daylight or a purple spot. And I learned in time that these were lens flares. Also, if you're shooting indoors, take a look at what you have around for lighting, for lamps. You can get some really wild-looking lens flares. And also, when you do that, take a look at the entire picture. See if there's any kind of a trail of lights that are very small, because that's another thing that can kind of trigger you in that where you've got a lens flare or some kind of a prism-like effect going on.
Okay.